Hello, Lupus Warriors. Welcome to Lupus Speaks podcast. I'm your host, Shedrica Holmes, and I'm here to empower you on your journey with lupus. We'll explore practical tips, inspiring stories, and the latest in lupus research. So grab your headphones and let's dive in. Hello, warriors and friends. Welcome back to another episode of Lupus Speaks podcast. And I am your host, Shedrica Holmes. And if you are new here, welcome. And if you've been listening for a long time, thank you for coming back. Friends, I hope you guys enjoyed your weekend and you were able to relax, regroup, and put yourself together, because that's what I did this weekend. I needed to catch up on some rest. I needed to catch up on life. It's still technically the beginning of November for me. I'm a little behind on my planning and organizing, but that's okay. I do have a lot going on this month. And because the holiday season is coming through, and we got Thanksgiving, I've got birthdays, and then we have Christmas. And I'm not sure how we're going to celebrate it this year because my daughter will be 1. It's going to be her first real Christmas. So, I don't know. I'm excited. But let's just get on into this episode. So, today I really want to come to you guys about something that's really serious. And I want to give you practical advice on coping with depression while living with lupus. Before we continue, I want to take a moment to remind you that everything I share on Lupus Speaks is based on my experiences and my opinion only. As someone who is living with lupus, I am not a medical professional of any kind. While I strive to provide accurate and helpful information, it is essential to remember that lupus is a complex medical condition, and what works for me may not be suitable for you. So just to put that out there. If you have any questions or concerns about your health or the management of your lupus, I strongly encourage you to consult with your physician or healthcare provider first. Living with lupus can be and is, for some, a daily battle. And it's important that we acknowledge, along with the physical challenges, that it will take a toll on our mental health. I know it has for me. I'm sure it has for you just a little bit. Depression is not an uncommon thing amongst individuals with lupus, but there are some practical strategies that can help you navigate this journey towards better mental well-being. So, here are some pieces of advice and coping strategies that I've used along the way, and hopefully these will be helpful for you, or maybe you've already tried these things that help you navigate your depression while you're living with lupus. So the number one thing that I actually recently just did this was I sought out professional help. Now, normally when I'm in therapy, they always release me and they tell me that I don't need them and that I've worked through whatever that I came there to work through and I don't need their help anymore, which is kind of disheartening sometimes, but let's move on from that. But I notice when things are like mentally being overwhelming, or if I'm starting to fall into a depression, and typically year round, I have like a seasonal depression, and it's usually around the fall season, which is weird because the fall season is actually my favorite season of the year, but I don't know, but I just get into this depression. So prior to feeling depressed, I sought out my therapist because I felt like the flare that I am currently in was making me think some thoughts that I did not want to be aligned with. So If you're experiencing persistent feelings of sadness, hopelessness, anxiety, or anything like that, please don't hesitate to seek for help. Like, go get you a mental health professional. They will help you with strategies tailored to specific needs that will help manage your depression. Right now, I'm in my third or fourth session, starting back over, and it's already helping. Like, already we have identified so many emotions and so many things that's tailored around just being in a lupus flare, not even the rest of my life, because I've been in depression for other aspects of my life, but this one is definitely directed towards just being in a lupus flare and dealing with the emotions of that. So anybody who knows me knows this one thing about me. I talk. Okay? I'm going to talk about what's going on with me, what's going on in my mind, how I'm feeling. I may not tell everybody because not everybody is privy to, my close and raw emotional feelings. But lucky for you guys, you get to hear it. So anyways, so that would be the second thing that I would suggest. I would suggest talking about how you feel. Don't keep it bottled up. Share with somebody you trust. Even go to a support group with people that relate to what you're feeling. I mean, most of the time, talking about what you're going through can provide relief and a sense of connection to what you're experiencing. So that's another thing that I would suggest, which is one of my top things that I do. Okay, so the third thing I would say is to practice self-compassion. This one is a hard one for me because I am not usually kind to myself. Now, I typically want to say that I'm a pretty positive person about everything else, and I'm just not positive to myself, if that makes sense. So a lot of the times I bring on my own depression because I'm thinking something negative about myself. Like, you're a failure because you can't get up and accomplish the things that you're doing today, or you so weak you gotta call on people to help you, and all of these negative aspects that's not healthy that I don't want to align myself with is something that I need to work on when it comes to practicing more self-compassion. Allow myself to rest when I need to and celebrate the small victories. Like, yeah, I got to, walk to the mailbox today and feel the sun. Like, I was able to get out the house and I wasn't in pain. Like, that's a win. And we need to take those small wins and give ourselves a pat on the back and give ourselves some grace on the things that we are not able to do when we not feeling well. And then the fourth thing is to set realistic goals. Excuse me. Setting realistic goals, meaning that you break your task into manageable steps and set achievable goals that can help regain a sense of control and accomplishment. So that's just going to mean routines for me. Like, the realistic goals and setting a routine and maintaining a routine is pretty much the same thing for me, because it makes it easier to manage everything that you're trying to do or that you want to do by saying, okay, in the morning I'm going to do these specific things, and then in the afternoon I'm going to do these things, and then I'm going to do these things in the evening. Now, they typically say do 3 things a day that you just top of the top 3, but I would say for me and my lifestyle, being able to break through top 3 things for each time of the day. So in the morning, my top 3, in the afternoon, my top 3, and in the evening, my top 3 that I just must get done. And most of these things are routines. It's becoming those habits that you maintain. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the habit stacking, but you can habit stack on things that you're already doing. So say, for instance, that, okay, you take a shower every day. So to generate a new habit, you can listen to a podcast while you're showering. That is a part of healing. That's a part of growth. That's a part of self-care. That is a part of knowledge that you are bringing awareness to yourself about something that you're studying, understanding, listening, reading, whatever your vice is when it comes to listening to podcasts, or maybe even listening to this. You can do that while you're taking a shower, or you can listen to an audiobook while you're washing dishes or driving. These things are building in habits and routines of things that could help manage depression and flare-ups as also. Or maybe just doing some hobbies that you regularly like to do. You want to include that as a routine that you do to maintain and manage your depression. So for me, it would be planning and organizing. That is a hobby for me. It is a lifestyle for me. I enjoy it. It gives me peace. And that manages my depression because I'm more mentally organized and I'm not overwhelmed and I'm not stressed and I'm not overthinking things because I have it all written down in one place. And like I said before in previous episodes, this is my second brain. Planning is, a must for me, or I will feel completely lost. Okay, moving on to staying active. That would be the next suggestion that I have when it comes to coping with depression. So gentle exercise like walking, doing yoga, that could boost your mood and your energy levels. Excuse me. So all you have to do is consult with your healthcare provider to find suitable physical activities for your condition or what feels comfortable to you as far as stretching or moving or being outdoors. You want to make sure that you ask a professional before you do something that may push yourself too far. And then also diet. That's kind of like a given at this point. We know from seeing things and having information that food is your ultimate medicine and that nutrition plays a crucial part in our mental health. So if we aim for a balanced diet and we just go with raw fruits and raw vegetables and whole grains, that actually will have mood boosting properties. So that is something that will actually benefit us overall, not just in a mental capacity, but in a physical capacity by eating better, eating healthier, being cleaner, being mindful of what we eat and how we eat, not too fast, smaller portions, things like that, not eating all the way until you're full. All of those tips actually are helpful and beneficial to your mood, how much energy you have because of what kind of food you consume, boost your energy. All of that kind of goes together when it comes to depression. Mindfulness and relaxation is another thing. Practicing mindfulness, meditation, and relaxation techniques can reduce stress and manage pain. Obviously, we know this too. And I'm going to tell you the truth. This is not my strongest suit. I have a hard time shutting my mind down. This is something that I do desire to practice, which is at least 15 minutes of meditation in the morning, 15 minutes of meditation at night before bed. This will be a habit. That's something that I will have to build on, but I would actually have to study how to really do this because I'm not good at it, and I would like to be. I would like to be able to reduce my stress, at least from just doing breathing techniques and things like that. So let me know if you actually do this and it works out for you. I would love to hear how it works out for you, and maybe you could give me some tips on how to practice mindfulness, meditation, and things like that. So next we want to have the medication management. So if you are on medication for lupus and you're not taking the holistic route, you should ensure that it's prescribed and you have the right adjustments, that because the medication could cause depression as well. So you want to make sure that what you're being prescribed is the proper doses or the right amount of what you really need, so that you don't make your depression worse. Because I feel like certain medications do intensify your depression. So you want to make sure you do some research on what you're taking and the possible side effects and how would it affect you mentally, because that's important. That's a part of you advocating for yourself by discussing with your doctor what you feel is right for you. Don't take their word for every single thing. Do your own research, because they're just giving you the textbook version of lupus. They're not necessarily experiencing it. Some people do have a really thorough background of lupus patients and what they feel and think, but some of the times they just don't, and they don't know how to relate to you as your personal. So you got to advocate for yourself. You have to be in the room talking about how you feel. Maybe they can prescribe the proper medication for your depression if need be. So definitely put that there. I'm just putting that out there as well. So another thing that could actually make your depression worse is if you isolate yourself. So you definitely want to stay connected with other people, loved ones. You know, y'all can talk on the phone, you can do video calls, even social media is okay. Mild versions of social media is okay when interacting with your people, the lupus community, family, friends, whatever. Interacting with people and not isolating yourself to your depression and your thoughts and your feelings and your pain is not helpful. It will definitely worsen your depression. So you got to find an outlet for you to be able to cope better. And support groups. So if you have a local support group, and if you don't know of any, look for some. There are a lot of online support groups that you can join, definitely on Facebook. And you want to be able to connect with other people who understand you and your unique challenges, because most of us experience some of the same things. And it's definitely comforting just to be like, oh, they get it, they relate, or we could just kind of bounce off of each other. And that's what this platform is for me, is to be able to give you tips and things that I've experienced on my journey, and hopefully to inspire you or inform you on things that you are not aware of. So, oh boy, that was like a mouthful. I feel like I just been running. I'm hoping that you are actually taking heed to these practical tips. So I'm going to go back over them with you. Seeking professional help or having professional counseling is to help navigate the emotional aspects of living with lupus. So definitely seek out professional help if you feel like it's that serious and you're like deep in your depression. Definitely talk about it with somebody that you're close to. Practice some self-compassion and being kinder to yourself. Setting goals and maintaining routines is going to be helpful towards your depression. Staying active and moving, changing your diet will help you boost your mood and your energy. That will help with your mindfulness and relaxation if you just sit down and alleviate some of these depression symptoms or reducing your stress. Your medication management with your doctor will help you understand what levels of medication you need to be on and how high your doses or low your doses should be. Staying connected and not isolating yourself is definitely probably my number one advice and tip after seeking professional help, is to not isolate yourself. Because we've all done it. I know I do it sometimes where I'm just like, I don't want to talk to nobody. I'm sick. I'm shut the world out. And it's actually not helpful. Some people are good at that. Some people can shut the world out and then pop back out like nothing ever happened. And typically I do that. But I'm learning to, share it and not be ashamed of what I'm going through, and share what I'm going through, not gatekeep any information. So yeah, hopefully I can get better at, I don't know, I don't want to say exposing, but putting myself out there out of my comfort zone, because I do feel exposed when I'm sharing things that are very personal to me, and what's happening to my body is very personal. So yeah, I'm working on that. Okay, so remember that managing depression is a journey, and it's okay to seek help along the way. You are not defined by this condition. I just hope for better days ahead, and implementing these strategies and seeking support. I hope that you find what you need to help with your depression, if that is something that you are struggling with. So let's stay strong. Let's stay connected. Let's keep moving forward. And that's all for this episode. Warriors, that concludes this special episode of Lupus Speaks podcast. If you found this content meaningful, please consider subscribing to our podcast and leaving a review. And if you would like to follow me and more of my content, go over to www.lupusspeaks.org or follow me at Lupus Speaks on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So remember, you guys, you are not alone. You are not alone. And we can fight this fight together. So stay strong, stay positive, and until next time, peace and be intentional.